All of your file and footage have gone corrupted. 4 years of work. Would you restart or drop the project?
Oh my God, what a question. This is Nathan Truesdell. He is the producer and co-cinematographer of the documentary film called Ascension, which is a film about the Chinese dream, exploring capitalism and consumerism in vignettes.
And this is Jessica Kingdon, the director of Ascension, as well as the producer, co-cinematographer, and editor of the film. Okay, here we go.
I'm scared.
What is it like to get international attention?
Well, great question, Nathan. This is the first time that we're showing Ascension to an international audience that we're here in person with. So it definitely feels different. It can be a bit intimidating when you go to a country where you don't speak the language and you don't necessarily understand the energy and the affect of the people there.
What is that?
That wasn't one of the questions.
The follow-up question.
Well, in particular, our movie, Ascension, does have to do a lot about national identity. And there are it takes place in China. So I think national identity is expressed, nationalism is explored, and so each country, depending on their geopolitics and their relationship to China, will probably see it in a slightly different light. A parallel of Ascension to Western culture.
There are tons of parallels to Ascension. I think that, Jess and I have talked before about how you could easily make a similar film in the US or basically in any Western country where you follow the supply chain of goods, things like that. But if you started at the base level of like the working class and build your way up through to the upper class, following that in any like Western country, you could easily make like a similar film. The characters would be different, the settings would be different, but I think that it would be an interesting look at another country's economy and their people. And I think a lot of people, like, even if we were to do it in the United States, to make a film like that, people would realize that they don't actually see all of these things in their own country. Yeah. Scenario.
Long question.
All of your file and footage have gone corrupted. 4 years of work. Would you restart or drop the project?
Oh my God, what a question. It's funny because after the first shoot, I can't remember if I told you this, something happened to the card where it got corrupted. And the whole time my stomach was in knots and I was so devastated about it and just thinking about all of this loss. But luckily we ended up recovering it. Did I tell you that?
I don't.
Yeah, this was like 4 years ago. But that was literally day one of shooting and I felt terrible. So I can't imagine after 4 years. I would say don't ever let this happen to you, because what you would do is, and what we do, we had so many copies of the footage. Like we have 2 or 3 copies of the master drive. So I would say each clip essentially lives on 4 or 5 hard drives. So that should never happen. But if it did, and also we put the drives in different apartments. I asked friends if I could store my drives at their house in case there's a fire, in case there's a burglary, in case there's a bomb, different cities even. You should be paranoid about it. But if somehow all the cities that the drives are scattered across got bombed,
Jesus.
That's the only scenario I can think of where it would all disappear. What would we do? I would start over and make it again, and it would probably be better.
But it would be a completely
different movie, but it might be even better, because I think sometimes failure or loss of something, and when you have to start over, especially when you already have all these ideas, it forces you to really think about it. So there were a lot of things thinking about it that I would try to do over and do better. That was a good question.
Nice pen. Very satisfying.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's a different question. This one.